Hi, my name is Mary Udia from Power Networking Forum, and this is my podcast, Empowerment Series with Mary. The show is about empowerment, networking, highlighting people doing good in their communities and paying it forward. Join me every Tuesday, and please like, subscribe, and share. Let's get started. All right, welcome to another episode of Empowerment Series with Mary. Today, I have a very special guest, Dr. Ruth Ifediora. Ruth, I'm going to have to read this. Your profile is pretty intense. It's pretty long. Dr. Ruth is a nurse professional development practitioner generalist, currently serving as a senior nurse educator and residence coordinator at a major safety net hospital here in Dallas, Texas. Prior to this role, Dr. Ruth started her career and education in Abia State, Nigeria, then relocated to the United States and proceeded to earn a bachelor's degree in nursing from the University of Texas in Arlington, her master's in nursing education from Grand Canyon University in Arizona, and most recently, in 2020, amid COVID-19, she was awarded her PhD from Walden University. Wow. We're going to get into all of that. Dr. Ruth is an American Psychiatry Nurses Association Suicide Prevention Competency Facilitator. And with all of that, she finds extra time amid her busy schedule to teach SAMA. Now she's going to talk to us about what SAMA is, Stop the Bleed, and CPR. As a devoted nurse advocate, a mentor, a community activist, a healthcare policy advocate, a social change agent, and a philanthropist, Dr. Ruth has made it her life's mission to help others. And she has won too many awards for me to mention on this, but you can check out her profile on LinkedIn to read all of them. Right, or on her website, which she will be, telling us later in the program. She's a founder, president, and CEO of Comfort Foundation, as you can see from her background, an organization dedicated to the public and professional education and destigmatization of mental illness, mental health promotion, and suicide prevention across the globe. Wow, that is why Dr. Ruth is here with us today to share and empower all of us what drives her to do all of these things. So welcome to the show, Dr. Ifediora. Can you,
Thank you. I appreciate you for that warm introduction.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. And let me go back before we get into the meat of the topic today, which is discussing mental health and this destigmatization of mental health. How are you doing today?
Excellent.
Being a frontline worker out there doing great work for us and all of us and supporting and educating all of the other frontline workers that are doing amazing work. I wanted to take the opportunity to especially thank you for the work that you are doing to support the community.
Thank you, Miss Mary. I appreciate you, and I did receive the support. I want to say I am doing good. I am excited, and thank you for having me here today to continue the work that I love to do with all my heart.
Absolutely. Thank you. So now tell us, what is SAMA?
Oh,
I have to go back to your profile because some people say, what is SAMA? And SAMA is spelled, for those of you who, the spelling is SAMA. That's the...
So SAMA is actually a Chinese program. So it's called Sectorial Alternative to Managing Aggression. Oh. So it's a program, is a crisis management technique and communication skills that are professionals, especially those who work with mental disorders, are trained on how to de-escalate crisis situations.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Wow.
And it's only one man that have the license. So I'm just licensed to teach the class. I am not the owner of the program, but I'm just licensed. So the owner is actually Mr. Larry that is in San Antonio. And he's the only one that have authority to that program in the whole United States.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's good to know. Thank you. That's, We're gonna
And
get a lot.
it's also a program that I can teach independently, especially there are 4 parts of SAMA, but any organization, any individual can benefit from the first part, which is the communication skills.
Okay.
And we can do that anywhere, any place.
Perfect. That is good to know. Thank you. We are going to get a lot of golden nuggets today. So pay attention and get your pen and paper and listen.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's going to be a great show today. So, yes. So thank you so much for joining me today again. Like I mentioned earlier on, our topic today is going to be dealing with a topic that, like rightly said, is very, very, we need to get to where we can destigmatize mental health, right? There's so much.
Our nose, our ears, the 5 senses of our body is our gate. The same way you have this, the security service, the same way you have the soldiers guide the White House, that is the same way you have to guide your gate. Because what you garbage into your brain is going to do what? Garbage out actions.
Yes.
But in a mental health world, we encourage you, we recommend that I always use the word we, because I want to personalize mental health.
Exactly.
Because we are taking it so much. One of the ways to destigmatize mental disorders is to do what? Is to personalize it. Because it's what all of us can be treated with. Remember, we have to function to our full potentials.
Absolutely.
So we have to limit the media exposure to reduce anxiety. Evidence, CDC and their friends, they recommend at least watch television maybe just twice a day, just to get an update. Instead of gluing yourself to the television, reduce your exposure to television.
Yeah.
You know the next one that I love so much?
No.
Is kindness.
Yep.
Be compassion and love yourself.
Oh, wow.
You cannot give what you don't have. You are not the cause of what is happening. Unfortunately, it's an incident we don't have control over. So the only thing you're going to do is to engage in forgiving yourself. Be kind to yourself. Love yourself. Loving yourself is not selfishness. You have to be healthy for you to be able to offer help to someone else.
Absolutely.
Even if you look at the airline, if we borrow the concept of the airline, he said, when the instruction is put in the oxygen first before you put it to your lovers, your loved ones.
Good analogy.
Yeah. We can bring it. So practice kindness. Every act of be compassionate. We are easy to show love to someone, but we forget ourselves. We are easy to be kind to others. We forget ourselves. Wow. I'm practicing that too, because my mental health matters. Exactly. Our mental health first, always. Engage in healthy behaviors such as eating a well-balanced diet. Exercise regularly. Exercise, when we engage in exercise, it stimulates some of the chemicals in our brain. Exercise is very good. Yeah. Get a lot of sleep. Practice sleep hygiene. When you're going to bed, you turn off the light. You turn off the television. Okay?
Put your cell phone very far away. I have to practice that.
Okay.
Because my cell phone is always right next to me, and I grab it, and middle of the night I'm checking,
Yes, me too. I'm practicing that because we have been associated, we've been attached to digital environment. Yeah. That is what we're in right now. So, but we have to learn how to give ourselves a break. We have to be able to learn how to detach ourselves. That was this course I did in Richland when I was doing my undergraduate courses. He said, a life without digital. 24 hours without digital. That is the most difficult time of my life. 24 hours without digital.
What did we used to do before? We didn't have these things. So used to them. Yeah.
Maintain a normal routine.
Yeah.
Avoid drugs and alcohol, because people are so physically distancing. You may be you're forced to be in the house. Most people are forced to work from home. So when they don't have nobody to talk to and they don't want to utilize the social media or other conferences to communicate to one another,
Yeah.
there's tendency to indulge in drugs or alcohol.
Alcohol.
But it does not, it's also a threat to our mental health. So as
Mhm.
much as you can, avoid drugs and alcohol, because drug disorders is also mental disorders. And you don't want to get addicted to those things because it translates into your mental health, which is
Wow.
your brain health.
Yes. Wow. I think you've like answered my three questions that I had for you, like
Wow.
how to help family members, friends going through tough times, how many, so you've kind of
So
covered all of it there with the things that we can do to
yeah,
make sure that we maintain a healthy, mental health. But yeah, go ahead.
so helping family members, maybe you're good enough, you've been able to practice all this, you've
Yeah.
been able to know yourself, know your personality, and all that. How can you help others?
Yeah.
You helping others by being the one to ask. This
Absolutely.
be the one is a concept that is used in social prevention, but I brought it closer. We can translate knowledge. Be the one to ask, are you okay? And
Yes.
not just ask and walk away. Ask and wait for response. That is what shows compassion, empathy. I always tell people, empathy is a precursor of compassion. There is no way you can have compassion without, first of all,
Having empathy.
demonstrating that you have empathy.
Yeah.
Okay? So be the one to ask, are you okay? And when you ask, wait for the response. And be able to ask in non-judgmental and supportive way. Be unbiased.
Exactly.
Don't ask to criticize. Don't ask to say, oh, because you lost your job. It's because you could not do anything. You're so lazy. No. Be the one to ask. Number two, be there. Be there. Which means somebody may not want to talk, but you can just stop and keep quiet and listen.
Exactly.
And,
And sometimes that's all you need to do is listen.
just
There's so
listen.
many people looking for someone to just listen and hear
Yes,
me. Just hear me. Hear
just
me.
hear me.
Yeah.
If they don't want to talk, just tell them, I'm here.
Yes.
I'll be happy to listen. I'll be happy to hear you if you're ready to speak. And these are all evidence-based materials or behaviors or content that can help us.
Yeah.
Keep them safe. How can you help? Keep them safe.
If
If they are in crisis, be the one to call that number. Be the one to call 911. Be the one to drive them to the emergency room. Be the one to get to their house to break that door if you
yeah.
miss that. In United States, you may not be the one to break the door, but call 911.
Yeah.
It's not okay for you to call, text someone, you did not get a reply, and you sit back. No, you need to go beyond. They call it going above and beyond.
Beyond. And
Be
that's why
the
they
one
have
to keep
the
them safe.
yeah, that's why they have the wellness check, right? So if
Yes,
someone is not reaching out or they're not responding and no one else is hearing from them, you do a wellness check. You can call the police
yes.
anytime and they will do a wellness
Any
check.
day.
Yeah.
There was a woman that died sometime last year or last 2 years, and I was told that she died in her house, and for days she died out of hunger. I think the system shut down. That is a hearsay. I don't have a validation to that information. But my question is, she have a sister that also live here.
Wow.
So I cannot not hear from my sister for 2 days. That door is going to be broken.
Yeah.
911 is going with me to find out
End of the
what is
door.
going on.
Exactly.
We need to be the one to keep ourselves safe is important.
Yeah.
Help them to connect.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I ask them, I have a Zoom account. I can share my Zoom account with you.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't cost me any extra money to share my Zoom account. So help them connect.
Yeah.
Connect them to that free therapy. Connect them to that free counseling. One thing, Miss Mary, people don't know that you don't have to be sick to see a therapist.
That's true.
You don't have to be sick to see a counselor. It just needed someone to talk
To
to.
talk to. Yeah.
It just needed someone to
To
give you
hear
a professional opinion,
and to hear you and to
to hear
validate
you
your feelings that you're
with
not going
no
crazy.
bias,
Yeah, I
no,
know.
with no stereotype, with no prejudice, with no discrimination. You don't need
Yes.
to be sick.
Yeah. Because
And
you do,
also,
because if you do that, because sometimes some people are also afraid of speaking to people, friends or neighbors, for fear of judgment, right? For fear of them taking that information, and it becomes a topic that the whole, city or the whole everybody hears of. Did you know that this person? Did you know that? Did you hear this? So some people, because of that, they shy away from sharing how they are feeling. So
you know why? Because we were give they born us and they told us that we need to be perfect.
and
That
it's
is why somebody
possible.
don't want to hear what another person. Oh, they say Miss Ruth did this, Miss Ruth do that. Is that gonna change your height? Is that
Exactly.
going to change your color?
No.
No, because we want to be perfect. That is why we're so much worried about the stereotype and the prejudice. But is what our community have done what? Have embedded in us. And that is where we are here to destigmatize, to change the narrative, to
Yeah.
let people know you don't have to be perfect.
No. You
You
see,
don't, there's no place. Perfection is not meant for you. Perfection is meant for God. So we are thriving every day to become perfect. But at this time, you don't have to be perfect.
we're always what I always
About
tell people is we're always work in progress,
yes,
continuous improvement. Nobody's
yes,
perfect. As long as you don't make the same mistake over and over, you acknowledge your mistake. Even if you do, acknowledge, and you're working towards making yourself a better person. That's all that you need to do.
yes. We don't have to
Not
be
be
perfect.
perfect.
And
Exactly.
that is why I tell people the last one I wanted to mention about how you can help some family in crisis is to follow up. It's not enough to ask, it's not enough to be there.
Yes.
Not enough to provide them safe. It's not enough to help them connect to their community, either to that therapist, either to that psychiatrist, either to that counselor. You need to follow through. Ask, how was the treatment?
Yes.
Is there anything else I can do for you? Is there anything else I can help you connect?
That is
How's your
powerful.
children doing?
Yes.
How's everyone doing? Remember, you're the best. You still want to continue to offer that motivation. And when you continue to offer, how is that is, Miss Mary? It comes back to the definition of mental health. Remember,
Yeah.
full potentials, productiveness, responding to stressors normally, and do what contributing to your community.
Community.
So when you're doing this, you're contributing to your community and you're contributing to what? Your mental
Health.
stability.
Wow, that's so much information. I don't want to take all the time. Those are really important. We probably have a second follow up and more
Yes, ma'am.
topics. There's several segments that we need to do on this topic because for me, it's very important to me that we stay healthy mentally, physically, you know, your whole, spiritually, all of that makes you whole. Right.
Yes.
So I want to segue into talking about your foundation because I don't want to take all this. I want you to talk about that because everything you're doing drives your passion
Yes.
drove your passion to start the nonprofit organization. So speak to us about Comfort Foundation. How
Thank
did
you.
it come about? What is it about? How can people find you? What do you do? How can we support you to continue to do the good you're doing in a community?
Good. Thank you for asking. Comfort Foundation is a nonprofit organization that is registered in the state of Texas, actually headquarters in Rolette. We focus, like what you said, on suicide prevention, mental health promotion in our community, and our values is compassion, community, and empowerment. That is our three values. That is our pillar. That is what drives us every day. And the why behind Comfort Foundation is that I'm an event-induced advocate. Let me put it that way. I guess I could have been, but maybe this brought me out earlier than expected.
Yes.
So in 2010, my mother died by suicide.
Oh wow.
So
Wow.
actually, my mother's name is Comfort. So
Oh,
the name
that's where the
is
name came
meant
from.
for
Okay.
foundation.
Comfort. Okay.
So some people that don't know what the name stands for can see it as a concept.
Yeah.
And they can draw comfort to it. So that is what brought me here. I decided to channel my energy to save lives through public education, because one of the evidence I've shown and one of the strategies to destigmatize mental disorders is to do what? Is to educate the public, is
Yes.
to change the narrative, is to advocate for policies that create a conducive environment that allow people to vent, that allow people to be who they are. It don't have to be perfect. So that is what brought us here. And we've been doing this since 2016. And we also engage in early education, because that's where the empowerment comes. We
Yes.
empower people at different levels, academically, economically, even financial education. I just got my license as an independent financial agent, just to help people in all round, in a holistic approach.
Where do you find time? Not to not to where do you find time? My case, like I look at your accomplishment. I'm like, this woman, do you sleep? Do you eat? What do you do? It's
I,
like you're studying all the time.
I do sleep and I do eat, but I am trying to build on my mental health by
Yeah.
contributing to my community, by being productive, and also I know how to respond to stress by making sure and I have compassion on myself. I love myself. I have to look good all the time, and at the same time, I'm also trying to function to my full potentials.
Awesome.
So they all come together. So Comfort Foundation also have, right now we're in two major countries, US and Nigeria. In Nigeria, it's called Comfort Education Foundation.
Okay.
Yes, here it's called Comfort Foundation. So our major programs for the year is we do public awareness every month. We
Okay.
go to different communities, we go to different churches, we ask people to call us. It's free service. Just give us notice. Go to our website, www.thecomfortfoundation.org.
Okay.
You fill out, yes,
www.thecomfortfoundation.org. Okay.
comfortfoundation.org. Then
Okay.
you go there, you see the request for community presentation or education. If you fill out that form, we'll come out to you. It's free of charge to you. We also engage in monthly. Last year we did it every week, but this year, just to work on our stressors, we changed it to once a month social media awareness campaign.
Okay.
Also to talk about mental health, mental disorders, and suicide prevention. Then in May, to celebrate Mental Health Awareness Month, we have Mental Health Symposium
Okay.
education that people register professionals, because you see that a lot of professionals out there also, they may be practicing but don't even have a full understanding because they have not personalized this issue. They're seeing it and they're treating someone. But
Yeah.
when you personalize it, you are able to speak about it. So we do that in May. Then in September, we do suicide walkathon to increase more awareness on suicide prevention. So those are the activities that we do, and we're open to collaboration. We're open to partnership. Our phone number is open out there, 469-850-3337.
Okay.
You can also reach us out through our email, comfortfoundation@outlook.com. That's another way you can reach us. We're open to partnership. We're open to collaboration. We can't do this alone. We need more people to amplify our voice. We need more people to help us change this narrative, to help us talk about this, to let people know that there's a difference between mental health and mental disorders, to let people know that mental health is achievable. Mental disorders are treatable. Suicide is preventable, and recovery is possible.
Possible. Wow. That's a wrap. I could not, put it any better. But like Dr. Ruth said, please visit her website www.thecomfortfoundation.org. You can find her via email. You're on Facebook, correct? You have a
Yes,
Facebook.
we're on Facebook, facebook.com/mental17. That
Okay.
is our Facebook. Our Instagram is comfortfdn.
DN. Okay.
D as in dog, N as in Nancy. The same Twitter, the same YouTube, Comfort FDN.
All right. So you can find her there. You can find, please go to her website, participate, sign up in some of her educational series, and for people that want to
And
support.
we're looking for volunteers. We're
Yeah,
looking for volunteers.
volunteers, people that can support her financially so she can be
Yes.
able to do this work and make sure that the message is spread. Please do that. Thank you so much for your time today. I typically have like rapid questions. I'm just going to ask you a few, rapid fun question.
Yes.
So you tell us, when was the last time you took a vacation with all this work you're doing?
Oh, that is a good question.
Yes.
Um, Unfortunately, because of the COVID, I did not take a vacation last year. But what I did was I took off. I actually took off work.
So you had a staycation.
Yes, I took off work and I was in my house for good 2 weeks. I didn't go anywhere. And
Wow.
one thing I did as part of my vacation is to learn, because we're in digital environment and my children call me Miss Zoom. So you can see me standing up is another approach to my presentation so that I can contribute to my mental health and keep my fit. So this year, one new approach I added to that is to make sure I stand up each time I do my presentation. That's why you see me here standing up and not sitting down.
Good. Good. But having a staycation and being online, zooming and learning, that was not a staycation. That was more
I
learning.
know. So that's why I said this year I did not go because of the COVID, but
Yeah.
I was in my house. I
Okay.
was off normal work, so I was off the track of work. But
Exactly.
this year, I'm open to a sponsored vacation. If anyone wants to sponsor me,
Sponsor me. Awesome.
yes, ma'am.
Good. Exact. For all this work you're doing, you deserve one. Uh,
Yes, ma'am.
so
Yes, ma'am.
if you were dropped in an island and you were supposed to take only one thing with you, what would that be to survive?
Ooh. Can they squeeze my family into one thing?
No, not family. Just a thing. Just so it's you.
Oh,
It
what
can't be you.
what can I what
It
can I
can't
take?
be. Yeah, it can be you and your family dropped in an island, but everybody's supposed to have one thing. What will you take?
What will I take?
Yeah, as a
I would
survival kid.
I would take my Bible.
Awesome. Wow, that's a good one.
I'll
That's
take my Bible
that's a good one.
because in it has everything that I need to survive.
Wow. Awesome. I have no word. That's a good one. That's not what I was expecting, but that's a really good one. And the last one I'm going to chime in here. Do you think cereal is soup?
Cereal is soup.
Yeah.
No, cereal is not soup. I know soup has to do with water and solid content in it, but I
But
don't think it's soup. But
so
if you
it's
can't think
cereal.
about it, cereal and water come together in soup. You drink it. Yes, it's soup.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Ruth. It has been a pleasure talking to you. The depth of information, we can go for another 2 hours and the content will still be coming. But I know you have forums, like you said, you have symposiums, you have seminars, you host your Facebook Live where people can actually watch you once a week, or is it once a month?
Once a month this year, we're doing it once a month, so we can actually have time to go on vacation.
Exactly. So please visit all of her platforms to learn about, taking care of ourselves, making sure that we're healthy, making sure that we're supporting our family, supporting ourselves. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
me
you so
today.
much. And I also want to remind our viewers, please join Comfort Foundation on our mental health symposium, May 15th, and also our suicide walkathon in September. We'll be happy to have all the volunteers, all the donations. We are 501c3. So if you're United States and make any donation, you're going to have a tax deductible information.
Information. Awesome. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of the day.
You too. You
Bye
too.
bye.
I appreciate you for all you do.
Thank you.